In today's video, I'm going to teach you how to expand your experience of time and to get everything you need done in your days. If you often have the pattern of feeling overwhelmed, feeling like you don't have enough time in your day, and feeling like everybody wants a piece of you, then this video is perfect for you. Because the truth is that this pattern has probably been going on for you for a very, very long time. So today I'm going to teach you 7 strategies to reverse this pattern. But let me start by introducing myself. My name is Shara Ugan. I'm an intuitive coach. I am a life coach and a clairvoyant. And in today's group, I'm going to take you on a guided meditation back to the root to heal this pattern from where it originated from, and then to take that into our present time bodies and to help us to create a new future. And then after that, I'm going to teach you some other really powerful, helpful strategies so that you not only have the experience of time, but literally you have more time in your day. Actually, as I was getting ready for this call, I kept thinking, oh, I don't have enough time. Like I went for a bike ride this morning, and usually I come back an hour and a half before my video time starts. And today I came back and I had 2 hours. And then 10 minutes before the video time was supposed to begin, I actually ran to the bathroom and, got my drink of water. And then I came back and somehow my clock said I had 11 minutes left before the recording. So strange things like that have been happening. And I believe this too could happen for you. And like every weekly energy healing, I like it to be interactive. And so at the very end of my teaching, I'm going to look at the chat and see if you have any questions or what your experience is. And I'm happy to share. I'm happy to channel any information, offer any insights, spiritual wisdoms, or anything I could do to help you to move forward to your highest potential. I believe strongly in you. When someone feels overwhelmed, it's most often experienced as a compressive force around your chest, around this area, around your ribs, like kind of pushing inward. Like we've all been there before, just think for a moment about what that's like when you have been in a state of press for time, overwhelm. Just take a moment, remember a time that happened and notice how your body reacts to it. And then if you're somebody who has the pattern of everybody wanting a piece of you, it doesn't matter what job you're doing or what you're doing with your friends, it's still all your friends and everybody at work wants more of you. And that's often expressed in the physiology around the throat. So a compressive energy around the throat. And if that's you, just take a moment and reflect on how that resonates in your body. So that being said, let's go ahead and get started and expand time. So I'm going to first ask you to think of a time recently that you felt this way, that you felt overwhelmed or that you felt everybody wants a piece of you. And choose one that's often a pattern for you. So just take a moment and get clear about what specific frequency experience that you want to work with, because most likely this experience you're choosing here has a rippling effect out in other areas of your body. And we often think, oh, I need to change the circumstances. I need to have a different job, or I just need to get away from everything. And yes, momentarily that will change the situation, but then we'll go back out into life and attract the same or similar sort of experiences. Even during the time of the coronavirus, if you're someone who often feels overwhelmed and busy, notice how you're feeling now. I mean, you may or may not be experiencing that. Okay, so I'd like you to start by closing your eyes and taking in white light through the crown of your head and letting it trickle to every cell of your body. And I'm going to turn on some music. So take a moment to come inside of yourself and say hello to your higher self. Where is your higher self right now in your body? Find your higher self. And now I'd like you to go to that experience that you were just imagining, the recent experience that you felt compressed or pressured for time. And I want you to travel into that experience as if it was happening right now. So see what room you're in, see if you're sitting or standing. Just take a snapshot of that time and space. And then I want you to follow that feeling flavor and travel back all the way back to the root of it. I want you to ask your higher self to show you the root of this pattern. And you might just see it as like a little flicker, and you might think, is that a real picture? Or whatever the little flicker of light, that is the one you want to work with. Go all the way back and trust your higher self to guide you all the way back to find the root of it. Once again, ask your higher self to show you a flicker of a memory of when this first began. How old are you? And what's going on for the little one in this visualization? Where are you? And if you don't remember, just trust your higher self to guide you with the answers. Are you in your bedroom? Are you in the living room? And see what's going on for this little one. What are the circumstances going on that's having her or him feel this way? Feel this amount of pressure that it's compressing inside, having them feel panic or tight or afraid or scared, whatever the circumstances are. Just notice what is going on for the little one. Who else is there in the room? What's the little one wearing? And what does it feel like to be in that experience? And then it could be either your present time self or your future self, either your present time self or your future self, to travel into this memory with the little one. And acknowledge and see the suffering and pressure that she's putting on herself. And I want you to go up to her and put your arm around her, if she's okay with it. Put your arm around her like you have a friend here and say, everything is going to be okay. And I'm here now. I'm here now, and everything is going to work out. Sometimes we have to say the same message again and again and again to really get it to sink in. So what the little one needs to hear more than anything is that it's going to be okay, and that you're doing it just fine, and everything is going to get done. Any person in the situation that you're in would feel this way. I know life has a way of putting pressure on you to be the bearer of the responsibility, or know that if you don't get it done, or if you don't figure it out fast enough, like what needs to be done, then you're bad in some way, shape, or form. The world's going to fall apart on you. And as you're there with the little one, make sure she knows that's not the truth. That's not at all the truth. And if it feels appropriate, hold the little one a little bit closer into your heart. And most of all, the little one needs love. The little one needs to feel loved, and she needs to know that it's going to be okay. So whatever actions, whatever words it will take for her to get there, go ahead and do that right now. And see what else this little one needs in this time of fear and feeling pressure and overwhelm, and it's all up to her. And hold her as if she were a baby at your chest, holding her preciously towards your heart, letting her know that she is loved, that she is special, and that it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. And as you're holding her at your heart, let your heartbeats start to entrain with one another. So you could feel her heartbeat into your chest, and vice versa. Just be there with her. That's all you need to do right now. Letting her know we're going to make it through together. You want to stay with her until the two of you get to a point where you have a rhythmic, steady heartbeat, and the feeling of everything's going to be okay. So take another moment to be her best friend and her healer. And then I want you to invite her to grow up, her little self. And there you are staying with her as this little one grows up and goes through time, having the same experiences of overwhelmed or being needed by others so much, or having so much responsibility on her plate, more than she feels like she can handle. But as she goes through these experiences, there's a slight and subtle shift that has now occurred in her nervous system and in her thoughts. So take this newfound physiological sensation along with you as you journey growing her up through all of school years, post school, and then all the way into your present time body. And while you're sitting in your chair or laying down, I'd like you to take the little one and hold her at your chest. Have your heartbeats continue to beat together. And as you hold this little one, take your wisdoms and your new learnings that you just learned on this journey with you, and think them to yourself. I'm okay. Things are going to be okay. I'm going to make it through this just fine. And take a few deep, rejuvenating breaths, feeling the expansion in your chest. And I'm going to teach you another technique that's going to help you with this feeling of expansion. I want you to take the tips of your fingers and start, you can open your eyes just to look at me, and start just below your collarbone. And with your fingertips, make a small circle, like you're tracing a dime. And you're starting on both sides of your sternum, just below your collarbone. And then slowly make the circle from the center outward towards your shoulders, going nice and slow. Make a very small, gentle circle. And what this is doing is it's giving your brain information that there's space between your ribs. And keep traveling a couple more times with your fingers from the center all the way out towards your shoulders. Go nice and slow and go gentle on your fingers. You should have a slight curl at the joints of your fingers. And then come back to the next rib and start close to your sternum and do the same thing. So make a nice circle like you're tracing a dime, and then walk your fingers outward. And this is like giving yourself a massage in the area you probably have felt the most constricted and contracted lately. This is a part where a lot of women have very fibrous tissue, a lot of density. And this is really the density of the emotions that we're holding in our body. So work your fingers out towards the armpit area, and then go to the next rib. Nice circle. So it's like you're giving yourself the TLC you really do deserve. And if you're a woman, you want to spend some time around this area where your the breast tissue meets the armpit area, because it gets really tight. Go down one more rib and allow your fingers to go wherever they would like, especially anywhere you're feeling a little tightness or tension. Okay, and then just gently set both hands onto your chest area. And take some deep, rejuvenating breaths. And with each breath, feel the ribs expand away from one another. And then I'd like you to invite the little one we just visited into your body, if that feels appropriate. See if she'd like to just live there, she or he. Inside your body, close to your heart. And together, the two of you will remind each other, there's enough time and space for everything. It's going to be okay. You're going to make it through. Deep breath as you say yes to that. Okay, and then relax your arms down by your side and notice how you might feel more space in that part of your body. And with your eyes still shut, I'd like you to now travel to your future. It doesn't have to be too far in the future. We could start with just traveling through this week. And along this journey through this week, you might come across a bump where in the past you may have responded with stress or tension or fear or overwhelm, and see what that's like for you right now. And if you want to journey to a little bit further, like maybe through the rest of the month, and as you're envisioning this, come across a time when maybe perhaps before this meditation you would have reacted with overwhelm and pressure, but now it's different. And since you're the author of your life, decide, how is it different? You have the choice to fill yourself up with lots of air and oxygen. Just breathing in more oxygen gives you that feeling of spaciousness, which is why people often recommend breathing exercises. And it also removes everything that's not supposed to be there with your exhale. Now, keeping your eyes shut, there's one more step we'll add. A lot of what causes people to feel overwhelmed or pulled in many different directions by many different people who all want a piece of you is because of courting energy, like courting somebody else's energy. They're courting us, we're courting them. You know, actually, if somebody is courting you, you're courting them. It works both ways. There's always the intention on both sides for the courting. So what we'll do around that is just bring acknowledgement to who in your life you might be courting right now. And I have another video that I discuss this more. We're just going to do a very mini step here around decourting. And if you're able to find where the cord is in your body, then wonderful. And just imagine pulling the cord from them that's stuck into your body out of your body and explode it into a million pieces, releasing it away to the universe. Because the truth is no one's energy belongs on you other than if you have an infant child. Or perhaps if you have an elder family member that it's dependent upon you. But in general, we need to own our space as our own space and hold seniority in our own space. So the next thing you're going to do is call back your own energy to wherever you gave it in this dynamic with this person. And maybe there's several people. So you could either do the cord releasing all at once, or you could do one at a time. Make sure to call back your own energy. Let that travel all the way through your body. And then next, this is a really important tip to feeling more spacious and having more time, is to create space around you. So we all have an auric field around us. Sometimes the auric field gets very compressed, and this happens when we're feeling overwhelmed and pressure and I need to hide before somebody else needs me. Oftentimes it's those people with the wider auric fields that actually people see and notice, and they're like, wait, I want her to help me, you know? And so sometimes we actually could control this, but this happens so unconsciously that we don't even know it. So what I want you to do is I want you to create a nice field of white cloud-like energy around you, about 18 inches or about an arm's length away from you. And draw that cloud bubble around you. Make it billowy, soft, as opposed to thick and hard. Soft like a cloud so anything can penetrate. What we really want to avoid doing is having a firm, hard boundary of resistance, because as the old adage goes, what you resist persists. So if you push away anything like an irritating husband or coworker, it's just going to come right back to you. It just doesn't work. It never has worked. You could send people and things off with love, which I do in a lot of my personal work. Okay, so once again, on this step, just make sure that you cut cords, you released other people's energies, you called back your own energy, and you created a nice white light around your auric field. Feel how spacious it is. Feel how it gives you the opportunity to breathe more and have the intention of thinking, this is my space. This is my space. The next technique I'm going to teach you is to remember a time when you did have spacious time and space. You know, sometimes we just find ourselves with an hour on our hands and we're like, hey, I might as well just do this Facebook inviting task or clean the closet that I've been procrastinating on doing. So think of a time when you felt very spacious. This might be a time when you felt joyous, or maybe it was during a new love, things were going your way. It's amazing how when we're actually happy and excited for something, that we have so much spaciousness inside. And then once you have this visualization, you could see yourself in the future doing something that ordinarily you might have felt stressed or compromised around. But let's go ahead and do this. Let's go ahead and think of a time when in the future you might have felt very pressed for time. Just go there for a moment into that visualization. And now what I want you to do is bring this visceral experience of when you felt joy and spaciousness inside of your body and bring it into that visualization. And see yourself going through the same tasks you were, but having this newfound freedom inside your body. Shut your eyes and play it out as if it was a movie playing. Okay. The next tip I'm going to give you on how to create more time and space is to be in the present moment. It sounds so obvious and easy, but hardly anybody's in the present moment. So when people are thinking, oh my God, or with the coronavirus, what's going to happen next, and all the worries and woes, then literally anxiety is just a hair away from feeling pressed for time. And so it's very similar physiology. And so that kind of pushes the trigger button to the brain of, oh no, overwhelm, yikes. So that's all future time. That's not present time. When you're in present time, and I'll take you into present time right now, listen to my voice. Listen to the sounds that you're hearing right now in this very moment. And feel the parts of your body touching something, like touching the back of your chair, or your feet on the earth, your clothes on your body. Take a breath and feel how the oxygen comes in through your nose or your mouth and where it travels to. Smell the smells in the air. And say to yourself, I am here. And notice that when you're in present time, there's so much more spaciousness around. Another tip to being in the present moment is to chunk it down, whatever you need to do. Like you might have 10 things you need to get accomplished during the day, and just take one at a time and put the other 9 away, and just think, here I am in cleaning the closet or cleaning the floor or doing this task online, and be fully present there. And I often like make a list. This is what I want to get accomplished. And then when you're done with that, and for some people it helps to set a timer, if you're someone who gets really lost in your tasks. But when you're done with that, then you go to the next one and the next one. When you have all 10 all at once, then it's just like overwhelm, and you're thinking about one and you're thinking, I got to do that one, and back and forth. That just is really ineffective with your time. Okay, the next tip, and this is, I'm really speaking to a lot of people like Rainbow and other people, that most people really don't have enough time, as they spend a good part of their time in their head circling around thoughts. It's like the monkey mind of thinking. I used to be very guilty of this. I would be at work and I'd come home and I'd be like, oh, did I do that right? And she said that to me, or he didn't call. What does that mean? And then I would literally think about the same thing over and over and over, like over analyzing. And it was really unproductive thinking, is the truth. The monkey mind of thought usually is very unproductive. Now, reflective thinking, that's different. But I think you guys know what I'm talking about with that, and also like drama, we could call it, like little tiffles that occur. What am I doing? Where am I going? What should I focus on? All of that circling stuff. You could do it in a reflective way, like I often do in meditation. I look at areas that I'm uncertain about or maybe stuck around. But I do my best to avoid taking it to bed. That when you're sleeping, that's the worst time to be thinking and overanalyzing and planning. Okay, so it's as simple as thinking of it like a light switch. And this takes practice, of course. So you turn it on and give intentional time to thinking about it, and then you turn it off. Just envision yourself doing that. Like when you go to bed at night, you turn the switch off. And this is going to create a lot more time and space. Like I literally now have friends and colleagues and clients that don't have that much time in their day, but I know a lot of it goes towards thinking, and it's silly that they don't see it right now. And we're at a time in evolution, we're all really stepping up to our higher truth and our higher selves. So it's crucial that you let the smaller stuff that used to get in the way go, and you focus on the bigger picture. And that's where you want to really just set your bullseye towards. And you'll have so much more time. It's crazy. So in conclusion, I'll review the different steps, but I'd like you to commit to doing this for the rest of your day, especially this last step, which is being present and intentional with how you're spending your time. So I like structure. I like, to plan out what I'm doing throughout my day, and then I have a whole bunch of like computer, internet tasks, and I'll save those for later, and then I'll go through each one. But I would like you to commit to being in present time, chunking it down and doing one thing at a time and doing it well. And letting all of the other distracting thoughts go. So, in summary, the steps are: number one, to connect with the root of where this pattern started, from the inner child, from her feeling or him feeling overwhelmed and pressure, and because of the circumstances going on in the home, she had no choice but to feel this inward pressure, this, oh my God, oh no, okay? So right there is where we need to love her, and we need to hold her, and we need to let her know it's going to be okay. And then we need to take that into our adult self and let our adult selves know that we're going to make it through this and it's going to be okay. Deep breath. The second tip was the expansion of the ribs. You could either do the little massage or put your hands here and create more space in your body, like literally create more space in your chest and also in your back. There's other things I do to create it in your back, but many of you know I'm a somatic Feldenkrais practitioner, and I incorporate a lot of that work, body work, into changing the way that we use and function in our body so that we don't get so tight and compressed. Okay, the third step was to remember a time when we were in present time and we were in a spacious, joyous state. And then take that to a circumstance, or maybe it's a present time circumstance, or we used a future circumstance where you'll most likely be feeling overwhelmed. But you could do this in a present time circumstance. If you're feeling overwhelmed, remember that time where you felt spaciousness and see if you can match that physiology. The next one is to be in the present moment. And the next one is to, and I didn't actually mention this, is to plan your day. So plan your day ahead of time, saves so much time. It's ridiculous. And then the last one is to stop the circling monkey mind. Be present and be thinking about what you want to be thinking about. Choose diligently where you want to put your thoughts, and you'll have so much more time. It's freaking crazy. So I invite you now to, I see some people are already writing some comments in the chat. Feel free to ask any questions, write your experience with this meditation, anything else you want to share. And while you are doing that, I will look at the chat, but I also want to make just a few announcements. The first is if you could subscribe. I'm almost at 1,000 YouTube subscribers. I'm like so excited. Who's going to take me over the 1,000 mark?